Do you want to convert your electric water heater to a tankless water heater? Follow this video and I'll show you step by step everything you need to know to make that happen. So our client has a 40-gallon tank, it's electric, and they are debating either to replace it or to put in a tankless water heater. Now we're in a condo, so we're limited on how much electric we have, but also let me show you what needs to get done. You cannot use the current wiring that's here because the wiring that's in here is a thinner gauge wire, and depending on the tankless water heater that we're going to put in, it has to be a certain thickness. Otherwise it can burn and then catch fire. So keep that in mind and make sure you don't have a contractor come in and just sell you a tankless water heater and keeping it without the wiring being replaced. Things to consider when changing from tank to tankless. We need electric to be ran from the electric panel, and you can see there in the video, that's the kitchen wall, and we have an electric panel right there. So a wire is going to have to be ran from this panel through the wall or ceiling. Okay, so some holes will have to be made and has to come into this closet here. All right, so that's one thing to consider. So new wiring from there to here. Another thing to consider is how much electric power is coming into the unit in this condo. In a newer building, some of them are 125, some are 150. Very, very, very rarely is it ever 200 amps. And so with 125, pretty limited, I think, to 20 amp tankless water heater. Another thing you have to calculate is the load of how much all of these different breakers, whether it's an electric stove, dryer, the water heater, all of these items, calculated to see what the load is. You can contact your electrician to see if it's even possible to put in a tankless electric with the current load. Also, we need some space here, right? And the panel has to have enough space for extra breakers to be added. So let's say, I think this is the 30 amp breaker, the water heater. If we're going to go with, on the lowest end of water heater, we're going to need a 60 amp. So this would just get swapped out for a 60 amp breaker. If we're going to be putting in anything, let's say like a 20 kilowatt unit, we will need two 40 amp breakers. So we would use this one, swap this 30 for a 40, and put another double pole 40 right here. Okay, so you got to make sure that you have enough space for more breakers as well. The main breaker right there, it'll typically say how many amps are on the on that breaker, and that will tell you how many amps you have in the panel. So again, let's just cover this one time. We need to make sure that we're going to be running new wires from the electric panel to the new location, or to the location of the water heater. We need to have enough space in the panel to make sure we can put more breakers, and we also need to know what the size or the incoming power to the home or the condo, and what it says on that main breaker. If you don't have a main breaker, then you can speak to the building and find out what each unit is typically getting. But for the most part, older buildings are 100 amps. Again, we're located here in Miami, Florida, so just consider that some of this information only applies here. So in an older building, 100 amps. In a newer building, it might be 125 to 150. All right, and then also you need to have the full load of everything you're using to be calculated together to see if, when you're using a tankless water heater, you're going to be drawing too much power. The last step is to confirm how much water flow you're actually using throughout your condo. Like, which fixture has the most amount of water coming out of it. So for example, a faucet will be about 1.5 gallons per minute. Your shower head is going to be about 2.5 gallons per minute. And your tub spout, depending on the shower valve, can be 3 to 4 or even 6, 7, 8 gallons per minute. It really depends. There's no one size fits all for any of this. It's really important to measure it out and check and see if you have anything that has high flow rate. Okay, sometimes people have shower heads that are 5 or 6 gallons per minute, and you want to calculate that and compare it to the tankless water heater that you're putting in to confirm if it will provide you with enough hot water. So an easy way to calculate how much water you're getting from one fixture is to grab a 1 gallon bucket and start filling it. So let's say this shower head, you're filling it up, and after 20 seconds, you obviously got to have a timer set and going. So you hit stop at 20 seconds when this bucket is completely full. That means that you have 3 gallons per minute shower head, right? So do the same thing for the bathtub spout and see how much is coming out. If you have anything over 3 or 4 gallons and you're using a shower head, if you're using a tankless water heater that's only going to provide 2.5 gallons per minute, like a 13 kilowatt tankless water heater, you're not going to be able to fill your bathtub. And especially in the wintertime when the cold water is coming into the unit and a little bit colder than it currently is, it's going to be working harder and it won't even be able to give you as much hot water as you get during the summertime. I hope that was helpful and informative. If you have any more questions, please reach out and ask for Yuta. I'll see you on the other side.